I never dreamed I would have this kind of mega global success. And it's pretty overwhelming. It's pretty overwhelming, but it's something that you could never have dreamed of, and certainly never realistically expected. It's catching lightning in a bottle.
Those of you familiar with my channel know that while I make videos about everything I love, from Star Wars to superheroes to Sherlock, it's Game of Thrones and the world of A Song of Ice and Fire to which I've dedicated the largest percentage of my content creation. Now, I have to be honest, this is partly because the numbers for a small channel like mine are solid and you guys really seem to enjoy the videos, but I could never and would never make content unless I was in some way in love with the subject. And I do love Game of Thrones, and I'm guessing you do too. So what is it about Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire that has so captured the public imagination? Thanks to the TV show, George R.R. Martin's epic saga has transcended the confines of fantasy literature to become an integral cog in the pop culture machine. Well, like any great work of art or entertainment, Game of Thrones succeeds because of its universality. Game of Thrones is many things to many people, and all things at once. It is epic fantasy for those of us who grew up on the adventures of hobbits and the magic of Elric of Melniboné. It is complex political drama that any fan of House of Cards or The West Wing could easily enjoy. And it is classical medieval soap opera for the Princess Bride fans out there. And yet, with every meaningful twist, every heart-wrenching turn, it subverts all of those things, elevating itself to become something truly unique. For at its heart, Game of Thrones is a story about relationships. Relationships between children and their parents, sisters and brothers, fathers and mothers, enemies and lovers. It is a show about the hold those relationships have on each and every action we make, and about how when those relationships break down, when they fail to align with our perceptions, they leave a vacuum that each and every one of us would go to incredible lengths to try and fill. Because of this insight, Martin is able to burden each and every one of his characters with significant enough emotional turmoil that they become instantly relatable to those of us struggling to make sense of a cruel and beautiful world. Whether it's Jaime Lannister's internal conflict or Arya Stark's resilience, we are able to understand and even empathise with these fictional constructs because, whether we know it or not, they reflect the things we think and feel. The things we don't necessarily say but nonetheless are rooted deep within our subconscious. Game of Thrones shines a light in the dark places and shows us that we're all the same. Imperfect, intolerant, indecisive and contrary. We don't have the answers, none of us do, and while we try to be the very best us we can still be selfish, we can still be spiteful and hateful, and yet that doesn't mean we can't still be good. Unlike traditional fantasy, the conflict between good and evil doesn't rage on the many battlefields of Westeros. It rages within the characters themselves, within us. Game of Thrones is acutely aware of the human condition. Sure, it helps that there are dragons, giants, mammoths and demons, but without the believable and complex characters that make up its core, we wouldn't care about the other stuff. Those characters and the many, many flaws that make them all too human are the reason that I, and I'm sure you too, love Game of Thrones.
You know, it's a lot of fantasy that concerns itself with the battle of good and evil. And I think the battle of good and evil is a terrific subject for fiction. But I don't think it's fought between really good-looking guys in white cloaks on white horses and really ugly guys in black armor who smell bad, as in too much fantasy. I think it's fought within the individual human heart.